line that I wanted to bring up too that I thought was funny says, "You niggas be doing what another nigga tell you to do, just like a fucking bop it."
That's the same
Hey,
thing
that was
right
a
there.
funny song. I can't lie.
Nigga, when I heard that, cause first,
Yeah, let's wake 'em up, chill. Wake 'em up, kill. Come on, won't touch the devil's cup, but I struggle with the letters hard. I've been a part of writing my letters to what I found is God. I'll go abroad. You a night owl and you scared.
okay, hey y'all, welcome back to Suga and Friendz podcast. Today we have two incredible artists in the building. We have rapper and producer Wiz Kelly, and we have another genius behind the board. We have producer Chillon Daviz. Um,
It's the
these,
applause, Will.
yeah, woo!
Hercules, Hercules.
Yes, these two just dropped RIEMA, an album truly next level, crazy production, stunning beat switches, and some of what I think is Wiz Kelly's best songwriting. We're breaking it down today. We're going to start with their journey to music. We're going to talk about the vision for the album, the process, and the bars. We're going to talk about the bars. So let's get into it. First and foremost, when I do these interviews, I always like to start with a check-in, right? So it's a bit of like a wellness check-in, like how are y'all doing? You know, I don't feel like we check on folks enough anymore. So if you can all just tell me, how you're doing, that'd be great.
Shit, I'm fucking cooling, man. Like, shit, I had to take the 5 days off of work, nigga. Fuck work. Fuck all them niggas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully them niggas don't fire me when I come back, because them niggas short
Nah,
staffed
word,
as
they're
fuck.
gonna be watching this B. They're gonna watch this and be like, yo, son, this is what he was doing.
Right, all this time.
Oh
Oh,
yeah, I told them niggas I was at a funeral like a motherfucker.
who is?
Man,
Yo,
bro, that shit is sorry, bro. Fuck that job. Niggas short
Oh.
staffed and everything, man. They probably got three niggas working right now.
Okay.
Literally.
Shalon, how about you?
man, I'm all good. I'm good, money. You know what I mean? I'm out here in New York. It's brick already. You know what I mean? But that's it.
know it's breakout. It's break out here. I know it's break out
Yeah,
here.
right. I'm in
Yeah, man.
DC, so I'm kind of like in the middle between y'all. So Wiz is in Atlanta, and then you're in New York, so I'm like in DC in the middle, and it's cold here too.
Yeah, I know. It's got to be crazy.
Oh
Yeah,
shit, break.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that y'all are doing well. Chalon, I'm glad to have you on, like with the
That
with
boy
the
got the
video with
camera
the
on.
camera on. Like I feel like I'm
yeah.
breaking barriers right now, or like doing
Nah,
something.
yo, you want to know what's crazy? It's like when you said that, I was like, yo, you know what, man? I'm going to do it with the camera on. And I decided to go in and put the reamer behind me and all that. So
Hey,
Yes,
that
it's
nigga
you
more
real.
prepared
definitely
than I
broke me
am.
out of the show. It's all good.
Yeah, it's real fly. Okay, so I know that Wiz is probably a bit more like knowledgeable about like who I am. I'm doing well, by the way, just to sort of put that in there.
Yeah, really. I was
With
about
the
to
ass.
say.
Yeah, I've been having a great week. Work is always busy, but I'm happy to get back to podcasting. I was on a little bit of a hiatus. I haven't recorded a podcast in like a while. I just did one like a week ago. And so I'm back into it. But essentially Suga and Friendz started I think almost like 2 or 3 years ago as a podcast. It's existed longer than that, just sort of as a concept. But as a podcast, I started interviewing underground and independent artists about 2 or 3 years ago. And essentially I just like to sit down with them and have like dope conversations about their
And
music. Yeah.
and not the same five fucking niggas. Let's
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
let's
Yo,
let's,
I'm
let's,
gonna keep
let's,
it.
let's fucking get that. Not the same six niggas.
Yo, I'm gonna keep it official with you. Some of the songs, like you had like a playlist that you had made. It's like end of the year kind of recap of all of the artists that you had. And I was listening to it like, nah, man, I want to be on there more. So some of the songs
Yeah.
from the album is kind of inspired by that, and the next album. You know what I mean? Right,
Wow, wow, that's
right,
dope.
right, right.
I try to dig deep. I try to get a variety of people on there that folks just aren't tapped into that I feel like they should be tapped into. Because Wiz is right. Like it do be a whole lot of like regurgitating and like getting the same people on there. And I just want to, expand that a little bit more and give, other people opportunities because y'all are releasing dope music out here and putting a lot of work into it. And I feel like it should be honored. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Well, it's definitely inspiring for sure. You're doing something out here for real.
Yeah. So we'll let Wiz get back into his seat and then we'll
My
start.
bad.
Yeah, no worries. I love that y'all are putting RIEMA in the background. Like that is, I've never had that happen before. Y'all are like high tech over here.
It
So
would
like,
have been even crazier if I didn't think about it so last minute. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, what? I
No,
wish
I
I had a
love it.
damn projector, motherfucker.
Right.
yeah, no, that's the fact. Come on, B.
Right. So we're going to get into what I call the journey to music. So a lot of the people who watch me may not know who Wiz Kelly or Chillon Davis is. And I just like to mention before we get too far into it, this is more conversational type of interview because it's two of y'all. So any questions that I ask, like feel free to chime in, both of you chime in on them and, provide your own perspectives.
Yeah.
So we're first going to start with our journey to music, which is where I just sort of ask about you all's background and how you came to where you are. So,
Mhm.
with that being said, my first question is for both of y'all. So, Wiz growing up in Atlanta and Chalon growing up in New York, which are two cities that have like rich hip hop histories in and of themselves. How did
Mhm.
y'all's environment shape who you are as an artist, if any at all?
Mm, I would say like Atlanta, like, my dad and my mom kind of shaped who I am as an artist, like especially who I listen to and stuff. But
Mhm.
Atlanta shaped like I probably wouldn't be the level as versatile as I would if I wasn't from here. Probably if I was from up north, I'd probably be a lot more standoffish towards Southern music. Cause like I
Mhm.
couldn't stand nigga like me, I couldn't stand niggas like Future and Wayne and shit when I was a youngin', bro. Like I just thought the shit they were rapping about was just mad dumb. And then like I don't know, like I think like Dirty Sprite 2 came like when I came out, I was like, you know what? These niggas kind of hard. And I
Mhm.
got to high school and I like discovered SoundCloud and started like listening like, Playboy Cardi and all like a lot of just the young niggas at that time. And I was like, okay, I get it now. And then
Mhm.
I picked up the sound and kind of, but went off with it. Now I'd be sometimes I bring the trap shit to the damn to a sample and shit. Should be tough.
Nah,
Yeah.
that's a fact. It's wild because I would even say almost like the same thing, but it's like, my parents are probably the core of where my music kind of starts. It's like going through their records and stuff like that. But my environment is gonna make me kind of almost one track minded, especially like being from New York. It's like the mecca of hip hop, blah blah blah.
Mm.
So you become like one track minded somewhat because it's yeah.
Nigga ain't trying to hear none of that other shit.
Right.
Like
Word.
the Migos, when the Migos and shit hit, I was like, yo, man, these motherfuckers is kind of fly. You know what I mean? It's always somebody that's kind of fly that gets a New York person's attention. So
Yeah.
they kind of like put me on the more of like the wavy-ish kind of style, which eventually leads me to Wiz, who does it the best. You know what I
Right.
mean? Word.
I
As
agree.
a nigga from Atlanta, yo, when the Migos fucking came out, yo, I could stand that shit, dog. Cause it's like, yo, these niggas had niggas wearing blouses and shit. Like niggas was wearing
Nah, they
circle
was wild.
shades and
You want to know
two-tone
what's wild?
shirts.
They wasn't like that originally, like in the beginning.
No, they
You know what I
wasn't.
mean?
Cause it
It's
was
like
just
the
it was
more
just
brand they got, it's like, yo, man, let's start wearing blouses.
Yeah.
facts. It was just street niggas that's wearing polo and shit, and big
Mhm.
polo horses and shit.
Yeah, real facts. You know what I
They
mean?
had
Yo, man,
everybody
we about
damn
to
near
get a
wearing
remix.
fucking shirts down to their knees and leather shirts and shit. Like, you not hot in that motherfucker, bro?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I always wondered about that too. We about to get Rima blouses, yo.
Not Reba blouses. That's
Or
hilarious.
I retire. I retire.
Yeah.
So tell me
Yo.
specifically, Chalon, where you're from in New York. You're from New York City, right? But if I'm not mistaken, you're from Queens, right?
Yeah. I'm from Queens. Right. I mean, I'm from Laurelton, Queens. Um, not too far from like where Run DMC was from, not too far from where LL Cool J was from. A lot of like foundational kind of hip hop artists, you know what I mean? Where
Yeah, I just wanted
The
to highlight
Queen,
that
the
to be
best city, man.
specific. Yeah, because Queens is so special. Like, in a similar thing to Atlanta, it has its own culture, and a lot of our greats, the people that we look up to in hip hop, are from Queens, and
Yeah,
so
most of my favorites
uh,
from Queens, bro.
yeah, that's
yeah,
dope.
Queens.
Nigga, when I
We're
was in Brooklyn, nigga, I
very
hated that shit.
observant. Like we like observe more than the other boroughs. Like the other boroughs are more like active and things like
Mm.
that. While
Yeah.
we're kind of like calm, laid back. You know what I mean?
I
Fun
see.
fact, I've
Mm.
been to Laurelton, and we'll just leave that there. But fun fact, I've been to Laurelton.
Lord,
Yep.
You didn't
that's
come and check a brother. That's
I
crazy.
know, I know. I think it's before we really like connected or whatever. But if I ever come back, I'm gonna definitely hit you up.
You done know.
Need that.
So we're gonna move on to the next question, which is kind of interesting that you all sort of already hinted about it. Because the next question I was gonna ask is, I'm curious about what you grew up listening to in your households, but like more specifically, did you grow up in like a more soulful, like my mom played, she's from the South, she's from Mississippi, so she played a lot of blues in the house. So a lot of Bobby Blue
Ooh.
Bland, a lot of Tyrone Davis, you know. So I'm curious, what did you guys specifically grow up listening to in the household?
Go ahead, Chillon.
Um, so I'm West Indian, know what I mean? Like, so my pops is actually my pops actually is from Venezuela, but was raised in Trinidad.
Uh,
And then the other side of my family is also from Trinidad. So I kind of grew up listening to like reggae music, dance hall and things like that. But like
It's all.
reggae music was like the foundation, reggae and calypso and those things. And then it was whatever my brother was listening to. So my brother is about 10 years older than I am. So he's where I got that real like hip hop flavor. Like, you know what I mean? Listening to his friends that I couldn't really hang around, like peeking in on their conversations and who they thought was the best. They talk about Big Daddy Kane and Rakim and Q-Tip and all of
Mm,
these people. And soon as I was able to control the music that I listened to, this is the route that I would take. You know what I mean?
mhm.
Mm.
What about you, Wiz?
Yep. Pretty much just my parents, dog. Like my parents, they gave me both sides. So my dad introduced me to hip hop very early. Like I was like 4 years old. First favorite song was like a KRS-One song. And like my
Uh,
first favorite rapper was Nas and
Mm,
like LL. And I had like a Rakim phase. I had like a Black Sheep. I had like a whole native tongue phase, like fucking
native tongue.
uh
wow.
I think I was like what 7, had a whole like native tongue phase. Um I lived in phases a lot. Like when my dad showed me Sky Zoo for the first time, nigga, I was like, what the fuck? And I was like fucking 10. And then
Mm,
like when I was in like 8th grade, he showed me Rock Marcy for the first time and it was over with. I didn't even know what the nigga was saying. I was like, oh, this is my guy right here.
I love
Yeah.
Rock Marcy.
Wow.
And then my mom just she really brought the variety. She always used to listen to Luther. She used to listen to a lot of soft rock. She used to listen to a lot of soft rock, like, and
Mm,
that was one thing that helped me like pick up just a lot of different, I don't know, just a lot of different flavors. Like she's always just listening to some soft rock or Doobie Brothers, Michael McDonald, or
mm,
you know what I'm saying? Like
Oh,
my mom had a very
wow.
great taste in music. She was also big on the native tongue, like big on Tribe Called Quest and all that stuff. So my
mm,
mom had a great taste in music. Like she definitely opened me up to like the variety of different genres and soul and uh, really like a lot of soft rock ballads and R&B and all that stuff. My dad's the one that kept me advanced on the hip hop side. Like I was always highly advanced for my age, like
mm.
being able to have like being like single digit age and still having my own opinion and being able to like converse with older people and then be like, what you know about that there? You know?
Exactly.
No,
Yo,
I can
that's
do the same thing with like I think when people hear the type of stuff I listen to, and I think it's even worse because I'm a woman. Like when people like, oh,
Definitely worse.
you like Rock Marcy, they be like, what? They don't even know when I submit playlist requests and it'd be like niggas like y'all or like Rock Marcy, they be so confused. They be like, you supposed to be listening to like Taylor Swift or some bullshit.
Summer Walker or
Yeah,
something.
Summer
no,
Walker.
that's the fact. I'm not, yo. I saw like when I first got wind of you, I was thinking to myself, like, yo, where have all of these females been in life? You know what I mean? Like,
Because look,
what
They
I
is
be
have
in they
going
be in the
on?
Doom.
cut, bro.
Look,
Yeah,
Doom
I
up
see
in the
your
back.
posters too. It's crazy.
Yeah, these are vinyls actually hanging up. But this is Doom.
Oh,
So yeah, like, but I feel you, Wiz, when you're younger, I think people be like, what you know about that? So that's why I was just curious about y'all's upbringing. And I've sort of the same. My mom listens to a lot of blues, like I said, and a lot of R&B. My hip hop just sort of came from my own. I guess my mom listened to hip hop too. She listens to a lot of Southern hip hop. So like Ghetto
Mhm.
Boys, you know, when Scarface went solo, and then
oh, that's
obviously like
fine.
Outkast and stuff. So that's sort of my upbringing. But I guess my next question would be more specifically like when did you start making music? Like at what point did you transition into like I'm listening to these artists, but like now I'm gonna be the artist. And so like what was that moment that you were just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna do this and I'm sort of meant to do it.
Well, when I felt like that, I was like about 17. I was like about 17, 18. Like I kind of always had the rapport with music. Like I had recorded my first song when I was like 5.
Mm.
Was I 4 or 5? I was 5. I was 5.5. I said I'm 5.5. Do the math. Yeah.
Oh.
I remember the verse and everything. But and then like I had started like producing when I was like 7. Like I was in like a class. I was like in this class and stuff, and I was like the coldest student there. Like they had gave me like a plaque and shit because I was like everybody had got like a certificate for like which their best beat was, like best rock beat, best jazz beat, best this. He just gave me a certificate because it was just like every beat I made was tough. So I just already had the rapport. Like it was so funny like just watching him go down and he'd be like, let me hear what you got. Okay, I see what you got going. And then he would, go down and then he would come to mine and then nigga be like that shit was funny, bro. Yeah, I kind of had the rapport early. I kind of had the rapport very early. And once I started getting around, like I had a few friends that rapped,
Mm.
they would come over and they already had the gear and shit. They would like come over, freestyle, record, and all that extra shit. That's what kind of brought me back into it. I was hooping, so I was hooping heavy. So that's kind of where my mind was. Then my friends kind of brought me back into this, and I was like, nigga, I forgot I was good at this shit.
Mm.
That's crazy. Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, our stories are sort of similar because it's like my brother was like a rapper. Like he rapped, him and his friends, they all rapped and shit. And they went to like the studio all of the time. And again, I told her I couldn't go. You know what I mean? So once I found out that that's what he did and him being such a like an influence on me, being my big brother and all of that, like I would try to do what he did as best as I could. So
Mm.
I would take like 2 tapes and like record them and like make loops and stuff like that and make beats. And one day he caught me and was like, "Yo, man, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I'm just like kind of bringing the song back around and just stretching it out." And he told me what I was doing, and then he kind of brought me like under his wing. But I was probably like 8, 9 years old when I started to, you know what I mean? Had a little tape recorder. We used to do freestyles on the tape recorder and all of that. Like so from like a real young age, like my house used to be like a party. Like when we used to go to school in the morning, I used to play records for people, all of my friends. It'd be like 20 kids in the house just tearing up my mom's house.
That's
But
fine.
yeah,
You
you know what I mean? Word.
Yeah, you can tell that y'all have been doing this for a long time. Like, it's not surprising for me to hear that music has been a part of y'all's lives for so long, like since you were young children, because you can tell in the quality, like you can tell in like the passion that comes out in the music. And y'all aren't, when I first heard Wiz like in his music, I was like, he's so young, like, and he's eons ahead of like so many other artists. And then when I started listening to you, Chillon, I was like, wow, like I don't hear too many people like focusing in on these soundscapes and like producing this type of quality work. And you all are underground slash independent. So you're working with, certain resources, which we'll talk about that sort of later. But yeah, I'm not surprised to hear that music has been a part of y'all's lives for so long because it shows. Um, I want to transition into talking about RIEMA specifically, um, like the vision and sort of the creative process. And like I said, it's three of us here, so this can be very conversational. And
Mhm.
I encourage you all to both chime in on the questions. So I want to start with the title, RIEMA.
Mhm.
As I listened to the project, it became less of like what is RIEMA and maybe like is like who is RIEMA? Like, am I right that is like RIEMA? The question might be more of like not what is RIEMA, but like who is RIEMA rather. Like I'm not like I was listening, I'm like, what does this title mean? Like, and so I want to first ask that question to you is like tell me about RIEMA.
RIEMA basically, I had this idea back in like 2017, 2018, and I hadn't actually produced I had produced that album instead. Like I had my own version of it and shit. And
Mm,
I ended up turning that into my first album, Wiz Kelly Volume 1.
mm.
And I ended up I hadn't scrapped the idea, but I just kept it in the burner. Rima is my middle name backwards. Is Amir.
Oh.
I just
Crazy.
He is a who. See, because I'm like,
yeah,
it's not a what, it's a who. It's like, who is Rima? Because
you
that's
feel
what
me?
I was getting when I was listening to it. Wow, I would have never, because I don't know your middle name. I just know your name, so I would have never guessed that. Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
My middle name is my name. I just thought it like looked cool backwards. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't just like sitting here one day. Ah man, my middle name means this, so it's it's not everything I do. Like I don't really be thinking too hard. Like and then I
Mm.
just put it backwards one day, and I was like, oh, actually, it looks fine. Rima.
Yeah, and it
You know,
does.
the music and probably interpretation to give it a lot more meaning down the line than what it
Yeah,
actually
not for
really
nothing.
has. Like,
When you have something like that, the confidence behind it is what makes it, you know what I
yeah.
mean? What it is. Like, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
People will get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Once I heard Chillon's beats, like, um, I had what I had first, our first rapport, we had the Vega track, the Bakar joint, right? And then, yeah, I had hit him up, and then we had built some rapport. He had sent me some beats, and I was like, I think you had sent the beat for Kelly first. The what was that beat called, bro? I can't remember what it was called, but
Yeah,
the
I
song
can't
called
even.
Kelly,
Yeah.
he sent the beat for that first, and I had got on that one, and I was just like, nigga, this might be that. This might be the album, bro. This might be RIEMA. Like just the way his beats sound, just sounds like it fit my personality so perfect. I swear, like all his beats, just like whatever mood the beat is, it always just like perfectly fits whatever it is. It was just like whatever the fuck I say on his shit, it just makes sense. Like I
Yeah.
didn't write one lyric down. So I didn't write one lyric down for this whole album. Nigga. It's just whatever just came off the motherfucking top. Like I didn't put no thought into this shit. Like we
Word,
put
word.
we put zero thought and zero concept into this motherfucker. He said the beat. I freestyled on the motherfuckers, put them together,
And
and
it's
we in.
weird because it sounds like it's like, yo, we just did
Yes.
like nothing, but it's fluent. You know what I mean? Like it's just, I don't know. It's just real fluent.
It was real
Wow,
fluid, bro.
yeah, fluent is a great word, and we'll talk more about in a minute here. My next question is about like sort of the mixing of both of y'all styles, and like how did you approach blending your production sort of techniques? I know because Wiz, it's so interesting. Like Wiz is a rapper and a producer, and then Chillon, of course, you produce. And but when you're working with another producer, like how do you go about? But I think Wiz kind of just answered it in a way like a lot of your beats, Chillon, just sort of speak to him and are or what he's, you know, that mood or what he's looking for. But like more specifically, can you talk about like how working together, like and blending sort of your styles may have happened and how that process?
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with it's also like the same thing on the other end. So when we did the first track with me, him and Vega,
Hmm.
I like heard something in his style that I felt like other rappers underground wise are just not in those pockets. You know what I mean? Like I heard it and I told my other producer homie, like, yo, man, do you hear this? Like, but like, do you hear him? Like he's like going on thirds. I'm getting like real technical in the style or whatever. He's like, yeah, I hear it. So this started to make me like send him other kind of different beats. You know what I mean? Because it's like it just seemed like almost like how he said it's almost like an alley oop. Anything I throw him, he could dunk it. You know what I mean?
You hear
It's
me?
a weird thing, but it's like anything I throw him, he could dunk it. So we started to play around with different tracks, and eventually I saw like that's what it was. And then your playlist,
Hmm.
it was easy. It was easy from there. So
Facts,
yeah,
bro. Nigga, I went like when I found like really, and I started going through his beats. I didn't even know if he fucked. I was always asking for his beats that he had put up. I didn't even know if he fucked with that shit or not. But I was just like, bro, the fact that nobody's rapping on his fucking beat is insane. Like I'm just going through all his shits. I have never heard a bad beat from this man, bro. I can't lie.
Chillon,
Like
yes, Chillon
it's
is
like he wanted the one producer. He's like one of the like the few producers that be pissing me off. I'd be like, why the fuck I ain't find this damn sample, bro?
yeah.
Why
yeah,
the fuck
that's
I ain't
that
need this
that
beat? This
No,
that's
nigga,
crazy.
he has like rappers tools beats in my opinion.
mm,
He just for me it's just like I said, it just makes me go. Like when I first heard his beats, like I even told him like his beats just they gave me like a feeling of like looking at like a really cool collector's toy, like a Funko Pop or some shit. And like whenever I hear him, I just want to collect all of them bitches. Like
Nah, I understand
that's
100%.
what his beats feel like to me. They just feel like really, really cool novelty fucking toys that fucking move and shit. And like
For
I'm just
nothing. The
want to
reason
keep
why
on
this
his beats.
interview is crazy is because I didn't really know the background of his music, but based off of the things that he listened to and his
mhm.
parents listened to, that's exactly what I'm on. So it's like classic rock and all of those things.
Yeah, we on the
Yeah.
same
I'm
me and Lon on the same
100%
shit,
on
man.
that. Like
You can
I'm
tell
listening to
that,
all of that. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
you can tell that y'all are on the same wave. Like, yeah, as I was listening to the project, I'm like, this doesn't sound to me any different than what a Wiz Kelly project would sound like if Chillon wasn't the producer. And that to me, but you can still like sort of tell that Chillon was there bringing his own sort of background and his own expertise. And it was like, I don't think I've ever seen a pairing that like worked like that, where it was like, this is just something that just should have always happened. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I felt that way too.
this, yeah, the collaboration, it just should have always happened. Like, and it's so funny to hear that y'all just have so many similarities in what you listen to and sort of how you approach your own styles. Wow, that's really interesting.
Nah,
That's
that's my guy, bro. I can't lie.
Yeah, well,
yes.
That's my fucking dude, bro. My nigga.
Yes, and it's such a stunning soundscape wise, like it's just so stunning. I want to talk about like the album sonically. Because there are like a lot of like stunning beat switches.
Shit ain't fantasy. And it's like this shit ain't fantasy. All this shit ain't new to me. I'm trying to switch that whole like, come on. Long Davis on the Bordelinos, nigga. Come on. Like my nigga Moolah said, we finna stack it up till we hit Lebanon. Right now, my take on Eno SRT, this shit feel hella sorry. Come on. These hoes be lame, these niggas be hella corny. The fuck I'ma do with y'all folks? I'ma go do me till I fly on a helicopter. Come on.
Which I haven't heard a lot of like really dope transitional beat switches in the production in a long time. Like I feel like it's a lost art almost. Like people don't do that no more. So when I was hearing it throughout some of the tracks in RIEMA, I was like, wow, they bringing back something that like people are not doing right now. And so I was curious about like sort of the intentional aspect of that. Like does a beat switch signal like a mood switches in RIEMA or like narrative switches, or is it just like a way to sort of keep your listener like on the edge? Like how was it functional for y'all?
It's a multitude of reasons why I always do beat switches. Like it's funny, I got a CD like back when like I said I was 7.
Mm-hmm.
I was in that program. It was this program. It was called Super Duper Music Looper, right? And all you was fucking with, all it was just loops. Like you got like a whole category of just loops, and you
Mm-hmm.
just boom, I'll fucking drag out a little drum loop, then I might find a little piano loop, and I'll fucking put that on there, and you just fucking with loops. And one thing I used to do as a kid, like I used to always fucking beat switch, beat switch, beat switch, beat switch, because like a nigga would just get bored, like me, mad ADHD, like I don't want to hear this beat no more. Boom, switch the beat, and like I was a lot more uneducated in that aspect. So when you hear some of these beats, it'll be like one beat, and then it's just like boom, next beat, and I'm like what the fuck? Shit was funny, and like I don't know, it's something that I always picked up in my style. Like I always just want to switch the beat. I be getting bored, so can imagine a nigga who listens, who's a consumer. You know what I'm saying? Niggas get so bored. You know what I'm saying? Like motherfuckers be getting so bored, especially like when you hearing motherfuckers rap. I'm like most of my shit, I be trying to take a certain style that's seen as unpalatable and make it palatable and most marketable as I possibly can. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? I might spit like a crazy 16, and I'm like, okay, I've been rapping for like 2 songs. Maybe throw a melody there. Then I might boom, switch the song. I got some singing in this one. You know what I'm saying? Then, I just kind of like, it's just a way I kind of like do the album. I'm big on just trying to keep attention because I got to keep my own attention.
Yeah. What about you, Chillon?
So like I had sent him on this same album, I did like again, like he's so like incredible. So I sent him, I hear something, I try to make the beat for that thing, and then I hear something else. You know what I mean? So I sent him the beat, he did an ill verse, and at the end of it, there was these harmonies, you know what I mean? So I tried to do a beat switch with one of the beats that's actually in there. He did it in the intro, but it's a totally like different song. So I sent him it, and for me, it's more like telling a story, like where it's like I need climaxes in different places. I need arcs in different places and things like that. You know what I mean? So that's more so in my opinion why I do it. But in that case, I was really doing it for him to do the harmony. So I sent him it, and he wasn't rocking with it. So I was like, damn, man, you don't rock with that, then. You know what I mean? Then I heard him do it himself, and I understood like, oh, okay, like you're trying to go from this to
I
this.
I know
You know
exactly
what I
what beat
mean?
you're talking about the on the intro, the second beat.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. On the
nobody.
intro, yo,
Yeah.
Because with
oh
that's
my,
when I first heard it, like the very first, I'm like, whoa, the beat just like
yeah,
switched. But
exactly,
I fuck with
100%.
that so heavy though. Like I'm
Thank
one of
you.
those people.
I did that for you. That beat is when I thought to myself, like, yo, man, he could do more harmonies.
Because
Oh man, this is going
it's
crazy.
so dynamic, right? Like if there's any word that comes to mind when I think of RIEMA is like how dynamic it is, especially soundscape wise. Like both of you all, I think even separately and now especially together on RIEMA, I think your production styles are so dynamic. Like just like you said, there's a climax and there's it's like moving almost,
Yeah.
and I think for folks who have like short attention spans or like need constant like stimulation mentally,
It's
like
always gonna keep you. I like to like give a lot of overstimulation. Like even
yeah.
with certain shit I produce, I'm gonna put all these sounds and shit. I'm gonna motherfucking throw it in a filter, and then I might throw some extra backgrounds on it just to make it sound. I like to sometimes I kind of like to have songs have a lot going on in a way. But it's still simplistic at its core value, but
Mm,
like I like to have it kind of a lot going on because like I kind of always wanted people to feel like I don't know what the fuck I'm hearing right now, but it's
mm.
good. That's all I just
Yeah,
want
and
people to hear.
it's all what how I would describe y'all as like immersive. Like you all have like immersive music. Like you just kind of get like enthralled into it.
Yeah, that's why I like Chillon's beats is they're very immersive. Shit
Yeah.
always makes me feel something.
Yeah, I want to talk about um was there a certain like sound you all were going for? Like, because I feel like there's just so much, it's so dynamic and it's so complex. Like, did Rima sound a certain way to you, Wiz? Like how you imagined it from the idea? And then like did that clash with sort of Chalon's maybe his idea once you come to another producer and like, hey, like this is sort of the idea that I have for Rima. This is how I imagine it in my brain. Because that's when I always talk to producers. I'm like, how do you even like begin to imagine what an album will sound like? Like the idea, then like the sound, then like the actual output of it. And so I'm just curious, like, did Rima come out sounding how you imagined it to be?
Yeah, exactly. Most of the time when I plan it from the start, it always pretty much sometimes it'll turn into something completely different, but then literally still be exactly what I kind of thought of in the initial
Mhm.
start. Like I'll finish an album and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's pretty much exactly what I thought of. And literally I just wanted it to be something very free. Like you
Mhm.
can just turn on like how I had natural selection. It was very conceptual, right? It's
Yeah.
very conceptual, and I wouldn't say that it's something that you can just throw on anytime. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? Like you kind of got to be in a certain mood to hear it or
Mhm.
something. Even if you fuck with it, like you might have to throw it on at a certain different time. I wanted to make something that's like, yo, I can just throw this on. I can just throw this on any day, anytime, any weather. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to make life a kind of more album lifestyle
Yeah.
esque. And I felt like when I heard his beats, it was like the perfect album to do it.
Mm.
Yeah,
And I was
with
just thinking
me,
like,
the
not
homie.
back.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah, with me, I kind of just sent him, like I told you, like I was just building off of this the every song that I sent him, I'm just building off of those. So I
Mhm.
sent him basically a bunch of beats, and then he picked his own as well from beats that I had online. But I kind of trusted his ear because I've heard his production before, like you know what I mean. But especially like the last album that he did with the homie. What's the homie's name? Liz.
Cam, come
Yeah,
out.
yeah, 100,
Mhm.
crazy. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So like I kind of trust his ear a
Mhm.
lot. So he kind of directed where song placements are and a lot of the changes and all of that. Like he kind of masterminded that like himself. You know what I mean? Like I just trusted him with that. Just gave him the beats. I don't know if any beats didn't make it or any of that, but I know that the arrangement and all of that, he kind of put that together himself. Right.
Yeah. It's so interesting to like be the consumer and listen to the project and then like hear you guys explain sort of the processes behind everything. Um man, I'm like literally at a loss for words. Like as I hear you all's responses and think back to what I heard, like everything just made sense. Like And I
Motherfucker.
like it's super straightforward. Like everything just made sense, and it was like I was just hearing gorgeous sounds just back to back to back to back. And it's refreshing. It's refreshing because I think we need to do a little bit more gatekeeping because I've been kind of that's the reason why like I haven't been like interviewing and doing that a whole lot. Like I haven't been truly inspired in a minute.
Mhm.
Except for the people that I continuously like listen to. Like I've been listening to Wiz work for like years now. And so I have to depend on people that I know in real life, like my friends, to like, you know,
This is what I be saying, bro. I don't be
yeah,
listening to these niggas no more. I know plenty of rappers that rap just as good as the people I've been listening to my whole life.
right.
I'm saying,
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
what's the point?
Another aspect, like sort of a technical thing I wanted to bring up about the album is like the sequencing. I think is beautiful. I particularly love the way like in Crockett at the end, it's like a callback.
Yapper, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? This shit ain't nothing, man. This shit is just some plain RIEMA shit, bro. Yeah, RIEMA shit, bro. Just some RIEMA shit. Nigga, this RIEMA bitch. RIEMA bitch. Hey, Lon, what the motherfucker said? Oh, something. You know, I spit a little bit of pain. Yeah, let's wake 'em up, chill. Wake 'em up, kill. Come on, we'll touch the devil's cup.
Or Call to Wars rather to RIEMA, like the next song after, which Wiz know that when as soon as which was like I guess RIEMA was like the single, right? Or like kind of you dropped that like I think a year before the actual album RIEMA came
Yeah.
out. And Wiz
Right.
knew I was reposting that song like hell, like that was my shit for real. But I love sort of at the end, you sort of like begin to say I guess the sample that's on RIEMA at the end of Crockett. And
That's
niggas
just
are not doing that. Like people are not, I don't think y'all understand. Like people are that level of creativity, that level of like intentional, like it makes it fun for like the consumer or the listener to be
Mhm.
like, especially because I knew the song already. As soon as I heard that at the end of Crockett, I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe he just did that. Like people are not doing that right now. And so I guess my question is like, how much of that is like planned versus like sort of a natural thing to just add creativity like that to an already dynamic album as it is? Like, is that just kind of a natural sort of flow for y'all to just be that fucking creative and just be like, I'm gonna do a call towards to the next song
Pretty
that's
much.
yeah,
Pretty much. Like every song had its own. I gave every song its transition because like I didn't want to do like any like sound bites. Like I kind of want to just focus. I wanted our whole album to just be about me. RIEMA is just me. It's just like
yeah.
it's not like I said, it's nobody. It's just it's me.
Mm,
And I just kind of wanted the whole album to kind of like his beats sound like the shit that Chillon give me is like the shit that be sound my head be sounding like all day. Like
right.
shit I be hearing in my head. I'd be like, oh, his beats be I don't know. His beats sound like me in another dimension or some shit. I don't
Yo,
know.
I was about to say, like, yo, the album sounds like some real kind of Alice in Wonderland type shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It sounds like a psychedelic trip in a way, especially when you go
Yeah.
from beat to beat. Yeah, you
Yes.
know what I mean? Like in its own way. You know what I mean?
No, I
Mhm.
It's
would agree, Chalon, and I think sequencing is so important. Like, so the only reason why I bring up sequencing is because I think that's another lost art. Like, I think people just kind of don't pay attention to how each track plays after the other and they just kind of like throw them up there. But when you're an artist and you're sort of, at least as a consumer, I love to hear sort of the intentional, like I put this track there because it makes sense for the next one. And the whole just the theatrics of it all and the drama, like it all adds to the experience, you know? And when I listen to RIEMA, it's like, I could see so many people, like so many of my friends, I've been sending the album to them, like them appreciating that, you know, as a consumer and how different, you know, that is because you aren't hearing it a lot right now.
Mhm. You're just not really hearing a lot of people try. And it's like
Yeah,
not really. Mind you, I didn't really try too hard. Mind you, I did, but you know, like I had to mix it and all that shit, and I just make sure the shit sound fire. But
right,
all I did was just fucking rap and
right.
yo,
Shalon's name about 100 times. Yo, I
Wiz
counted. I
Kelly
see
is
niggas
like
71 times on the album. Like,
this guy's like Prince, man. I'm trying to tell you. So with him, it's effortless for him. You know what I mean? With him, it's effortless. Like, listen to how this brother is talking. Like, it's just effortless for this guy to do what he does. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Wiz has gotten that feedback, I feel like a lot. Like from the time that I've known Wiz, like even up until this point, like I feel like I've always heard that from other people that was around us. They were like Wiz, it's just so effortless for him and like he's just so eons ahead of. And so I'm so glad he found sort of you to aid in that process and be just a natural thought leader as well and sort of bring your own talent and your own style to it and it just sort of works, you know what I mean, in the grand scheme of things. I want to talk next about like songwriting and like artistic growth. A lot of these will be like whiz centered, but some of them will you will be able to chime in on too, Chillon. Um, Wiz, I think that you really flexed your songwriting abilities on this project. I think you're always a great writer. I've always given you your props on that, and I've always been sort of like reeled in when you say stuff, and you have like I think Shalon said it earlier, like you're something about your voice, like just sort of captures like the audience.
Mm-hmm.
But you did a lot of flexing. Like I heard a lot of hooks. I heard a lot of bridges on this project. I heard like next level like songwriting, and I think one of the questions that's popped up in my head is like, have you grown any like as a songwriter, you think as you like progress through your artistry, like is that sort of a conscious thing you think about is songwriting and you know, when you approach each project?
Yeah, every day. I mean, like anytime I try to, it's like I kind of kept try to keep it consistent. I used to fucking hate recording and rapping, but like I literally hated, like I think natural selection that what I did natural selection for, I did everything that I hate on
Mm,
natural selection. I hate rapping on my own beats because I feel like it's selfish when I rap on my own beats because I just always feel like when I like if I don't have a concept or something for it, it feels like a waste. Like, yeah, it's fire or something, but like I could have gave this beat to someone else to start a relationship. I could have started an album with somebody. I could have used this beat to do something. That's like I just feels like a selfish thing to me, in my opinion. Like I made this crazy beat. I'm gonna put a crazy verse on it for what? Like and natural selection, I rap all through on my own shit. I had to mix the whole shit, got the own features, and I kind of had got myself out of hating to rap. I hated rapping for a long times. I was like 16 and out. And like I tried to, rap for whole songs and I challenged myself to like, do everything that I hate. And like I kind of finally got that out the way. I was able to use RIEMA to be just a lot more comfortable. Like just literally just say whatever the fuck I want to, put whatever the fuck beat I want. Not
mm.
whatever the fuck, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like
I know what you
I
mean.
could
Yeah.
just literally just do whatever I felt like I just had free mental reign to just, I don't know, do whatever I want to. Like if I wanted to sing on a beat and just randomly bring in another beat,
Mm.
I could. There's just no rules no more.
Yeah, it's interesting that you bring up like singing on the beat because the next point that I'm going to talk about is your melodic singing, your harmonizing, your melodic rapping. Um, we've had this conversation privately, like through text, about like because Shalon, I've always complimented Wiz on his voice. I think he has a stunning voice. I think he does the melodic thing and him being from Atlanta is even funnier but like because I think Atlanta has ushered sort of that movement where like a lot of niggas out here want to be melodic and they want to and
Mhm.
then Drake too like the rise of Drake and his influence on the rap industry everybody want to be singers everybody want to what I call is like carrying a tune right but I
Mhm.
think that Wiz does it in a way that's so unique and so true to himself but I don't feel like you've done it in a little in like a kind of a while, like to this extent, like to where several tracks on an album, you're doing a lot of like melodic
Mhm.
harmonizing and like singing. And so I was just curious, are you leaning more into that like in the future? Is that something that like because I remember being a fan of Nowhere, your project Nowhere, where like that was almost exclusively just you just sort of singing or being melodic on
Mhm.
the album. And so I was just curious, like, are you leaning more into that with your future sort of projects and as continue in your artistry?
Pretty much, I mean, shit, whatever the fuck sticks.
No, that's right.
Whatever the fuck is hard, bro. That's literally it. Like
Yeah.
a lot of niggas be thinking too hard. Now I've been telling like a lot of my friends, they've been telling me my whole anytime I started, like, man, you gotta do that singing shit gonna get you out of there. And it's just like, nigga, I know. And it's just like I saw them my rap shit and they be like, that's fine. But then I saw them some singing shit and they just be like, video, like, oh. And it's just like, I'm like, I mean, motherfuckers gonna like what they like. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do at the end of the day.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But like, yeah,
I
but at the same time, yeah, I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get more into my melodic shit. Like even get into I'm gonna get at a point to where I'm gonna even get to like a style that's even more palatable for like let's
Mhm.
just say like an industry sound, just to show motherfuckers I can do that bullshit. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But no, the melodics are always gonna be there. Like, and
Yeah.
they really never left. It's just that like motherfuckers be wanting me to rap. Like motherfuckers be getting me on features. They be wanting me to rap. You know what I'm saying? I just did the
like,
little Vega hook.
yeah, I
He
think
wanted
what's
me to sing.
crazy is the fact that you could do both of those. Like you could
Yeah.
do certain type of like hardcore type shit. You know what I'm saying? And like run with anybody on those type beats, and then you could do melodic type shit at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you could even do it on the same shit. Like it's like,
Yeah.
yo,
I be trying to
niggas
mix
is
it
not on that.
sometimes. Like,
Yeah, like
you
on
know,
Yeah,
this album,
100%.
I think you beautifully weave in and out of sort of the melodic and then back to rapping. Like I can't even like it feels almost like it's pouring out of you and like it's just yeah, nigga, it almost felt spiritual. Like when I was
Yo,
like, damn, Wiz getting down.
we working on something crazy. We already like albums into the future, so it's like we got another joint that is gonna be. It's gonna be crazy, man. Oh my god,
we
man.
trying to get that shit out this year.
Yeah, I can't
Crazy.
wait to hear whatever it is.
That next shit gonna be stupid.
I want to know, we're going to talk about like two particular songs on the album, Turna. So you in Turna, I think you address like artistry and like your own values in a way that I don't think I've heard before like on your records. Like I think you're always transparent on your records and I think you always just speak truth. Just like you do in real life, right? Like it parallels into your music. But I wanted to ask, do you feel like you're too humble about your talent? Like, have you been, or do you feel like you've been too humble in the past, like about your talent? And like, do you think that you're coming more into like, you're like saying it out loud, like being more open about like how, because I feel like you mentioned it a lot throughout this album, like just how talented you are and like how, you let niggas make it for real. Just curious, like, do you ever feel like you're too humble about your talent?
Yeah, 100. I mean, I kind of like it's just my personality. Like, I'm a hooper.
Mm,
You know, I'm a hooper at heart. It's just kind of like one of the first. I would say the first thing I actually genuinely like was able to fall in love with was like the game of basketball. And even you see like how I play, like I'm very unselfish. You know, it's a lot of times where, like I've been the best player on the team, but I'm still, I'm still dishing this, that, and third. There would be times where I get mine, but I just love to see my folks get theirs. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's kind of the same, like in the music side. Like it's a lot of people that I done kind of just took out my resources, kind of to just, yo, like my nigga, you get on these type of shits, you gonna go. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really take some. It took a little. I focus on myself a lot of times, but like I don't know. Sometimes it can be hard because I love helping.
mm. And I've seen that a lot. Like you being a producer is one of those ways, I think, or at least the way that
Mhm.
I observe. I know you a little bit personally, but I see, you work with a lot of other artists and collaborate and, whole entire albums that you'll produce. And so
Mhm.
that it's super evident, Chillon, what about you? Do you feel like you're too humble? I thought I sent you a message about keeping the camera off if you want it. Like, I think you have sort of a anonymous, like recluse vibe to you, but you're so incredibly talented.
You
Right.
want to know what, man? So many people tell me that I'm like so secretive, but it's like when everybody is telling you it, are you really that secret?
Hmm.
Is
I
it
feel you.
really that much of a secret? So it's like,
Just be
it's like
chilling, bro.
everybody. I think that I'm hiding, but everybody's watching me.
Yeah, I feel you, but
Nah,
there's a level of mystique that I wish hip hop would or just artistry and being a musician as a whole. I wish there was a little bit more mystique back into the profession and the career. I think like with the rise of social media and stuff like that, like I think we are kind of too, but this is more me specifically talking about like talent. Like, do you
Mhm.
feel like
honestly,
yeah, because extremely talented, and I feel like we know that, because we interact with you, the people that listen to your beats, but like you have a little bit of a humble vibe too.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah. I could definitely be humble. Sometimes I could not be humble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you
Not
feel me?
be
It's just
so
like you
humble.
pop your shit whenever it feels necessary.
Yeah,
Yeah, because
100%.
I
But
feel like I used to be that way. Like I'd be quiet about my talent as well. But I think it's important and even sometimes healthy to acknowledge your skill and the work that you put in. This
Mm.
creating whole albums and the music, the music shit is not like normal. That's not like these, you all are people who are extraordinary. Like, you're
Mhm.
outside of the ordinary. And so it's okay to acknowledge skill and work, I think.
Oh yeah, 100. I think
and
I would say like I'm not like a too it's I would say yes and no to an extent when it comes to, being too humble or whatever. Like, of course, if you hear through the music, obviously I know, my abilities. I'm talking about it on the song.
Mhm.
But it's like just the type of person I am. Like it's a lot of times I've been in a building with a bunch of musicians and a bunch of, or people, talking music, and I'm just gonna talk like I'm a regular person. Like it's just, what I'm saying? I just don't feel like I'm Tariq before anything.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Wiz Kelly is just an extension to me. I'm not one of those niggas who's just,
mm.
oh man, don't call me by my name. I'm that. I'm like, nigga, you're talking about yourself through the music.
Yeah.
Like, I'm Tariq before anything.
What
It's just
about
like
you,
that's just kind of how I
Joanna?
see shit.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie, I'm the total opposite. I'm more definitely like Batman. I am definitely Batman, brother. Like
yeah.
I'm not Bruce
Hey, I
Wayne.
feel it.
That is not really me. It's hard because not like we spoke about it before, where it's like, yo, I've been doing music for so long since like a kid. Like more people know me for music than they know me for anything.
Mm,
I
You know
feel
what I
that.
mean? And that's almost like down to even family members type. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, because I've been doing it for so long. It's like I
That
was a
shit is
little kid.
crazy. Niggas call me Wiz now. Like,
oh.
Come on, man. That's a fact. You know what I mean?
it's be crazy. It'd be kind of crazy. Some like even when I just hear the word Wiz, I'd be like, oh shit, like
Mm.
that is my name too.
Well, yeah, because I don't know you as Tariq. I know you as
Yeah,
Wiz.
most people know me as Wiz, right?
Yeah.
It's just how I really just see myself for real. Like I just don't really.
Hmm.
In a sense, I'm really just instead of more or less being humble, I'm just really a student, bro. Like
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? Like I'm such a student. Like I just be trying to learn. Same thing. Like if you hear about like Kobe, like I remember he was talking about when he played Reggie Miller one-on-one,
Mm.
and he whooped Reggie's ass. But
Mm.
even after the game, he was just like asking Reggie like, "Yo, that little jab three, like, how you do that?" You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? Like you just trying to keep. I'm just trying to keep adding more to the game.
Right.
I'm saying add more to the arsenal, add more to the bag. So it's more or less like I don't know. I'm just a student, man. Like at the end of the day, I'm a lifetime student.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
always good to be. It's always good to be a student and be, continuously learn. I want to talk about a line in DUSA. So you said niggas fishing for holes in my style. How about you just mind your fucking business?
Damn, hey, come on, man.
Bro,
Damn
when
right.
I heard that shit, I
Come on, man.
died.
That's
Because
funny, bro.
in a general,
Hilarious, man.
I died because in a general sense, right? Like, do you feel like people are constantly looking for weaknesses rather than appreciating artistry, right? Like that's a genuine question that I always have for a lot of the artists that I interview. Because don't they feel like we in a moment right now where like niggas just be hating, bro? Like on everything that's out, like it's all bandwagon. Like if one person hates something, the next person don't hate it, or like somebody always got to chime in with their fucking opinion about like what you should be doing or what you shouldn't be doing. Like, how about you just mind your fucking business?
Literally.
No, that's a real fact. Let the
Literally.
art be.
Word.
Just listen to the music, nigga.
Yeah, just listen to the fucking music and enjoy it. And that's all you should be fucking worried about.
But at the end of the day, niggas made fun of that Leangelo Ball song all day, and then everybody bumping it. You like the
Everybody.
song. It's
Yeah.
just like me and my man Two and Two, great producer.
Love two and two.
Me and my man Two and Two, we always talk about this, like of just a lot of people just in everything just have to be told what they fucking like.
Hmm.
Like, nigga, do you like it?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you needed the advertisement to tell you to like this shit.
Mm.
You know
Yo,
what I'm
not for
saying?
nothing.
You ain't taste the
Sometimes
shit.
it's
Yeah.
what she said as well, where they be like, yo, they just want to say that they don't like it just to be different almost. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Or just be
Just
funny
to
and shit.
have an opinion almost. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it's like a cult thing to like everybody gotta dislike the same shit or like the same shit, or everybody put like the same people up on a pedestal and like dislike other people. It's like as long as
Mhm.
everybody's just creating freely and like doing what they love and they have passion in it, like just let niggas create. Now, do I believe in gatekeeping to some extent? Like it depends, yeah, because it's a lot of hot garbage out here. But
that's a fact.
in the grand scheme of things, like just mind your fucking business, like Wiz said, right?
That is so funny, yo.
That is funny.
Of
Yeah,
all the
I
lines.
just be it's funny because it's just like my dad, like, or just me, you be around me and my dad, like we get mad about some shit and we just start ranting and motherfuckers be laughing like we really be joking. But we really be tight, like when niggas really be saying that shit be funny, and I guess that's the same. I never even thought of that line of being funny. Like, nigga, I was just ranting, like, nigga,
Yeah.
mind your business, bro.
So
Like,
that shit
I'm
was
trying to
funny
work,
as hell when I heard it. And Chillon, I don't know if you ever like met Wiz's dad or like been around him. He's
Oh
hilarious.
yeah, he's been around
He
my father.
is hilarious,
He is
man.
so funny to me.
He is wild funny. We about to have some music in the future too.
Yes. Another line that I wanted to bring up too that I thought was funny says, "You niggas be doing what another nigga tell you to do, just like a fucking bop it."
That's the same
Hey,
thing
that was
right
a
there.
funny song. I can't lie.
Thing when I heard that, because first of all, I know what a bop it is. I used to play with the toy when I was
I still
little.
got my shit.
Yes, and it gave you a bunch of commands that you're supposed to do. And I do, and kind of to our point that we just made, like people do what other people tell them to do or like what they think is like hot right now. So like if it's a certain sound that's like, popping right now, like I think everybody at one point wanted to sound like the Griselda niggas, right? And like sort of be on that,
Still
like,
do.
yeah, yeah, still do, right? And like be
Yeah,
on so then everybody finds
Definitely.
that trend and they sort of follow that command to in order to be. But what I think is interesting about you guys is that y'all y'all resist against that theme. You guys create freely. And so my question is like in the state of the industry where I feel like a lot of people are just doing what they're being told to do, especially at the high level, like at a commercial level, but even on the underground and independent space as well, like how do you all stay creatively free? Like, how do you not feel the pressures of like conforming? Is that just like I'm a real nigga, like that's just in me, or is it like do you ever feel the pressure to conform or be a certain way?
I won't even say the pressure to conform. I got shit that's like actually within that lane. Like it's I mean, like I'm just a person who likes to do everything. And I've always been a person that um really focuses on the intricacies of things and
Mm,
like the art of things. So it's like I'll go and when I see things, I'll go to the niche of it of like, the reason why I like Rock Marcy opposed to like most other artists is because he's like a niche, but he's also a cornerstone of rap music that not a lot of people study.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I felt like as a young child, the fact that I studied such an unorthodox style that was also such a heavy benefactor of the culture, I
Mhm.
think kind of wired my brain a little different. Like I don't know, I always have to go to the niches of things. So I just felt like that was just kind of like why my music is what it is. Like I wasn't like a big fan of like the big producers. I'm
Mm.
just a Q-tip guy. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like I'm
you want
like
to know what? Also, where it's like, yo, I feel um, it's like it's almost like my my accent. You know what I'm saying? Like the way I make music is it's like my accent. So it's like I'm gonna communicate with you as
Mm.
best as I can, but it's going to come from where I'm from. So like Griselda sounds like how they sound. If I'm gonna try to talk to them, hardcore to me might be Eric Sermon. You know
Mm.
mhm.
what I'm saying? It might be um Dr. Dre, it might be something else, like based off
Maybe.
of whatever I was listening to or whatever I call hardcore versus
Hmm.
trying to be exactly what you are. You know what I mean? Like, so it's basically like an accent, man. Like it's
Yeah.
I have different categories that I could possibly go in, but it's always gonna kind of sound like me. You know what I mean? Hopefully.
It's always gonna be Wiz. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
hopefully, yeah. You
It's
know what I
always gonna
mean?
sound like Chillon. We all gonna hear them gunshots. It's like,
Yeah,
bro,
like
it's like, yo,
it's
Chillon,
always
yo,
gonna have that common thread.
his effects that he puts on the beat, like, yo, let's say I hear a sample somewhere else and then heard somebody else chop it, right? And then like I hear he could use the same exact chop, the same exact way they did it, but he threw the gunshots and the shit on it, and it's just like I'm rapping on that. I'm rapping on that.
Yeah.
I can't lie. I don't know. It's just something about the way his shit sound, man.
Yeah, Chillon is so talented. And actually, we're gonna move on to the next part, which is about like kind of a little bit about like technical brilliance and like production. I have one question, which is to Chillon. I want to know, from your perspective as a producer on the project, like what was technically the most either impressive thing that happened on this album or like the proudest moment you have? Like, yeah, we really did something like here in this moment.
I'm not gonna lie, those song switches. Like I really love those, man. Like I love the song switches. Like when something that you might not know is like when I send the beats to Wiz, the beats is probably like 1 minute and 30 seconds, probably the longest that it is. You know what I mean? And
I love
I
that shit.
damn near expect him to do the 130. Or there's a song, I don't know which song it is, but he says it like, yo, Chillon only gave me 1 minute and 30, so I gotta go right in. Something like that. He says it on there. Like you can hear him say it. So me, I'm expecting to be in and out of an album almost in like 20 minutes. Like I want people in and out of an album almost in like 15, 20 minutes. Boom. It's like it was here and then boom. You know what I mean? It gets you to wherever you got to get to, and then that's it. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah, man. But yeah, creatively, like I trust a lot of Wiz's air as well. Like we're really doing some kind of dynamic duo kind of thing. You know what I mean? Where even though he's saying that it seems effortless, but we are like really melding together as it pertains to the sound.
But
I want to talk about. Oh, go ahead, Wiz.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I just want. We're gonna move on to like personal reflections. I want to talk about you all as underground, like independent, emerging artists. And I ask every single interview I do, I ask the same question, and I get similar answers, and sometimes I get a little variety of different answers. But the question is, what challenges do you think you guys face as like underground artists or artists on the rise, like if any, like things, challenges that stick out to you that not necessarily hinder your career in any way, but things that you take note of, as you continue on in your career as independent or underground artists.
Shit, probably the quintessential shit, lack of resources, lack of money, nigga. Niggas dick sucking.
Oh,
I
know I was trying not to say that.
Niggas dick. That's the main one, right? That's the biggest one right there. Niggas dick pulling. You know what I'm saying? Niggas pulling Lord Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the main one right there. But obviously work-life balance, work-life relationships balance, all that extra crap.
Yeah, I would say finding creative ways to kind of promote yourself, because like sometimes we just artists. You know what I mean? Sometimes we just make beats, or we just rap, or we just do whatever. That doesn't mean that we're the greatest promotional, you know what I mean? The greatest people in the promotion area. But finding more creative ways to do it, because everybody ends up doing like the same thing.
Same shit.
It's like the link in the bio. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. So it's like just finding more creative ways as well, like to promote and all of that. I would say that's
that's one of the hardest too.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That shit is annoying.
I know, right? Like because the resource thing is a important one. Like the lack of resources, when you talk about marketing, like how do you get yourself out there if you just release an album? Like, what are the creative ways that you can tell folks about it? Like, of course, it's word of mouth, but that depends on people sharing your shit. That depends on people like not being low key haters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know,
Niggas pulling the Johnson.
Yeah, this
That's what I'm saying. Like,
he said, "How we gonna say that?" All right.
yeah, but I get it. I get it
Hilarious, bro.
because I feel the same way. Like in my own, Sugar and Friends is underground. Like it,
you know what I'm saying? You
podcast.
already know.
Yeah, it's underground. It's, I do a lot of big shit. Like I have brand deals. I interview like artists who are more red carpet, but like in the grand scheme of things, people don't like to see you like doing good and like doing well and doing shit. And so
Yo,
when
yo,
I was underground, like when nobody really knew who I was and people would then everybody fucking with you, everybody liking your shit, everybody sharing it. But as soon as you start to get a little bit like niggas is noticing you and you start to then it starts to get funny, right?
Niggas
you
start
gotta
getting
change
fat.
your
Niggas
name
start getting
to
sassy.
Alex Rocky.
What did you say, Chillon?
I said you gotta change your name to Alex Rocky.
Yeah, hey, Lex Rock.
yo, that'll be fine. Listen, man, I'm telling you,
Yeah,
that'll be.
so I always ask that question. What were you saying, Chillon?
No, no, go ahead, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I always ask that question because it's always interesting and I always hear the resources thing. I always hear that, but I also hear like the lack of support that sometimes happens and the struggle to market and the struggle to sort of get yourself out there. So I'm always happy to share you all's music and I'm always happy to sit down with artists because it takes nothing. Like it takes nothing to share. It takes nothing to tell a nigga about the. It takes no. I mean, I put in work to my interviews, no doubt, but it's
Thanks.
nothing for me to sort of like, you know, sit down.
Niggas is not journalists. I ain't gonna lie. That's my next. I ain't gonna lie. That's my next thing I record. That's the first bar that I'm gonna. Niggas is not journalists, bro. These niggas just. I don't
Bro,
know what the fuck these niggas be doing. Like,
they think bro, let me tell you something. They really think they be journalists out here. And that's part of the reason why I got back into doing this work because I was taking a hiatus. I graduated from college. I was like focusing on myself. I got a really good job. Like I was like real life takes precedence over like this internet shit because I live a double life, the work-life balance, right?
What
hear
was you
me?
saying? Your
But then
selfies.
I got tired of seeing folks on here just giving trash interviews. I got tired of folks just being garbage. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start Suga and Friends again because I would
That's
like to
out.
continue to have good, dope conversations with really talented people and it be genuine, right? It's
Mhm.
not because I'm trying to build my own brand. It's not because I'm trying to like indirectly get followers from niggas. Like that's
Feel
people
me?
be mining followers. Like that's all it is. So I appreciate you guys. We'll sort of go into our final thoughts here. And then we're gonna play a game after. So we'll go into our final thoughts. But I wanna ask, like, what's something that you guys want your listeners to take away from Rima? It could be different for Wiz rather from Chillon, but like what's something you want them to take away, if anything?
Uh, I don't know, brother. To be honest, like, be your fucking self.
Hmm, that's
I
a
mean,
good one, Wiz.
that's literally all it is, dog. I mean, it's literally the concept of the album. Then
Yeah.
just be yourself. Stop dick pulling. But we on the no dick pulling run 2025. We're not doing
Yo,
that, man. Um, I don't know,
I
man.
think
Just
yourself is fire too, man. Especially with it being your name and all of that. That's 100% that fire. You know what I mean? Word. Just be yourself.
What about
100%.
feel
what
me, be yourself, bro. And we pushing the Chalon there just 2025.
about-
Come on, man. What are we doing?
You
right? And
know?
what about you, Chillon? Like, what would you want listeners to take away from this album?
Um, I would say that uh just like any other part of the interview where I was saying that him giving me songs and us building song by song made us create this world that is this first album. This
Mhm.
is kind of just like the genesis, almost like this is just like the first chapter of us doing that with albums. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
like this is just like the beginning, almost like beginning
Probably
stage.
worse it's gonna get.
Mm.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I have another like kind of like bonus question. I always ask before we get into our game, I always ask underground artists to like just sort of shout out or like tell me who you're listening to that's also underground. It could be an artist, it could be a producer. Like who are y'all listening to in the underground space?
I'm listening to a lot of my boy Kamal,
Hmm.
a lot of Jigs,
Jigs, yeah.
um, a lot of Khalid Salam,
Yes, heavy on Khalid Islam.
obviously Chillon.
come on,
Shalom.
man.
Uh, Wiz Kelly's pretty decent.
That Wiz
Uh,
Kelly guy.
let me see. Y'all been listening to so much. It's my favorite little youngest. His name is Laser Dim 7000. Yo, I love that
Mm,
nigga. That nigga's so tough. The little Atlanta
yeah.
dude. That's
See,
my
I
guy.
got to look that up. You know what I mean?
How
I'm
about
not
you?
gonna.
That's my guy. But other than that, there's little Rock Marcy, little Children of
Rock
Zeus,
Marcy.
little Moonchild. Just you know, little mix of everything.
All right, Chalon,
Yeah.
what about you?
I sort of like follow the producers. So it's got like my man NY Nick. I've done albums with him. Um,
Got that. Man.
Ayo Shamir. Shamir is a producer who he's done joints with Mickey Fax, Ransom, all kinds of different artists. And
Mm,
he's who I ended up even knowing Wiz from
mm,
through Vega, who's another person I listen to,
mm.
Vega, Devin Ronan.
Say that shit.
Um, yeah, man. And other than that, it'd be stop CODA, you know what I mean? Other
Mm.
than that, it's
Like
like
something.
yeah, Rock Marciano, same collective as Wiz that I listen to. Word.
You know what I mean?
I've been listening to everybody knows Blue, right? You know, Below the Heavens Blue. He uh he
Mhm.
he released a like a instrumental tape with this producer called Royal Blue. And I've been listening to that lately. Like it's just all instrumentals, but I've been listening to it lately and I really fuck with it. So you all being producers, you all should check it out. The producer's name is Roy Royal, but the actual tape is called Royal Blue. Y'all should check it out. I've been listening to it like on the way to work, just instrumentals. I'm kind of into that right now. Like I'm listening to a lot of that's why I love this project so much because I just love beautiful soundscapes and I just love, yeah, beautiful sounds.
That's
So that's
true,
what
man.
I'm listening to. I want to play a little game. It's called This or That. So obviously you either choose this or you choose that. So I'm gonna give you two scenarios, two options is a better way to say it, and then you choose between one or the other option. All right.
Yeah.
Ready? All right. The first one is dark, moody beats or high energy anthems.
Which one's this and which one's that?
You can choose. So you have to choose one or the other.
Okay.
So you're either choosing dark, moody beats or
Ooh,
high
Man,
energy.
that's hard because it depends. I,
You have to choose this or that.
damn. What kind of person are you, man?
that's
Who
dastardly.
makes the person make these kind of choices?
That's a a drink chill. I might have that
Oh
drink.
yeah, you're gonna
No,
take a drink. You're gonna take a drink.
what
Let
would
me go high energy anthem.
you?
Hmm.
Um, right now I'm on dark and moody, so
I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
Right
go
say
now,
dark
I
and
am
moody.
on darker.
those
Right
answers.
now, I am on
Yeah.
dark and moody. But I feel like if I was stuck on an island, just give me a damn high energy anthem or
I'm
some
about
shit.
to
Yeah,
say
I
I
can
feel
jump
like a
out
lot
the
of
window. Don't think that I'm not that tight. You know what
No,
I
I'm
mean?
not facts.
I get high energy too. All right,
I
cool.
know that's just hard to pick
I
because right
know.
now I am on the dark and moody. But I think
Yeah, I'm on the dark
probably
and moody right now. That's the only reason why.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think
No, the second one. We'll go to the second one. Okay.
Keep going.
Sampled vocals in the beat or all original instrumentation.
Oh, all original instrumentation.
as a,
Sample vocals. I'm
okay
going to sample vocals in the beat.
yeah.
Sampled.
As an artist, I want to go with the sample, but the
Mhm.
producer in me would say, uh, but if we going based off RIEMA, I'm gonna go with the sample vocals.
Okay, so sample for the both of y'all. Okay, let's go for we're gonna go to another one. So harmonizing melodies or straight bars?
Melodies.
Word. All right, cool. I'm going with Wiz on this one. We're going melody, melody, melody. So far, me and Wiz have been insane.
Yeah, I would say so too. I would say melodies as
I go
well.
melody. Because I mean some nigga don't want to hear bars every goddamn day.
There's only a few people I think in this world that can do that like really, really well at a high level, where it's just
Right.
straight bars and it's still fire.
Facts.
Um, okay, rapping over your own production or hopping on someone else's beat?
I like hopping on someone else's beat.
He's picking someone else's beat.
Y'all are interesting. All right. Um, underground respect or mainstream success?
The Browns.
I don't give a fuck about either of these niggas. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
Uh,
Wow.
like it depends on. Give me mainstream success.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm taking the mainstream. I'm taking the mainstream success.
First
Underground.
off, underground. First off, them niggas ain't gonna get you no paper. First off,
They
and
still
then
not.
I ain't getting diddy, so we ain't. You know, I'm gonna be good. I'm
Right.
gonna give me mainstream success.
Word. Okay, so the last one,
Wow.
you want legendary status over time or instant viral hit?
It's easy, legendary, over
Hmm.
Yeah,
time.
legendary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't even
the
know why
difference
nigga
is power hit.
I
pick the other side.
know.
Unless you
Instant
just want to get in and get out, I respect it.
word, because
Get a
instant
little
viral
hit.
hit, don't nobody stay around when they get an instant viral hit, bro. Don't nobody.
Yeah,
Get
it is
you.
like, yeah, nah, I'm not going for the instant viral hit. So I'd rather the slow motion, no problem.
Right.
I got it on my bucket list to produce one of those. And just like
Hmm.
produce, find one nigga, and that nigga just fall
I think
off
we
right
can do it
after.
for sure. All right, so we're coming to the close of our interview here. Before I close it out, I wanted to ask you guys, do you have any questions for me? It's okay if you don't. I'm just curious. I always ask everybody this.
Yo, where are you?
Yeah.
Where did you say that you were from?
I'm originally from New Orleans, and then I moved to Chicago for a little bit and lived there for 4 years, and then I moved to DC right after to go to Howard. So I've been in DC for like the last 5 or 6 years.
You
So did
see,
your
I want to
music
go out
change?
there.
Like your interest in music change through the different places that you moved to, or did you always have this interest from the beginning?
That's a good question, Chillon. And the answer is yes, it did change. I think some of it stays the same, right? Like a lot of people are like, surprised by my interest, I guess, in jazz and like um particularly like live music.
Hmm.
But I grew up in New Orleans, so you have brass bands and like I show them the people that I grew up listening to, and that's just the way my ears. So like loud music, like it's no surprise that I like Wiz's and yours production style because I feel like it's boisterous and it's loud and it's a soundscape because that's what I grew up around. Like that's
Right.
New Orleans. A lot of that music is just loud. It's drama. It's cinematic. And so when I moved to Chicago, I think I got more into like the backpack.
808 kind of sound, like kind of darkish, like.
Yeah, like but I would say I would classify as more backpackish. So like no name,
Oh, okay.
yeah, like no name, Chance.
Love No Name.
Yeah, like No Name Chance. Smino is from St. Louis, but he lived in Chicago at the same time. That's the first time I met him. I met him right after he dropped Black Swan. And the whole city, Saba, like the whole city was just particularly like they were all working together and it was like a real like surgence of like backpacky type music, socially conscious. Um, and then when I moved to DC, I think I just sort of stayed the same. I think in between like moving from Chicago and like going to college, I got more into like the gritty sounding stuff. Like I started to discover a lot more of like artists like Rock Marcy and like I've always known of Alchemist. I've always known of his work for a long time. But yeah, I would say like each place that I moved, I picked up certain things. I think I like a lot of go-go music now.
I was about to even ask about
Yeah.
that. Like, In DC, they got the go-go. I would say that you're following like almost the horns in a way, like the brass.
Yeah,
You know
I
what I
would
mean?
think the brass is it. Like go-go is very similar to like brass music that's played a lot, like brass bands that are, really active in New Orleans. Um, but yeah, I think my love for hip hop has just always existed in my childhood though. Like I said, my mom, she listened
All
to
right.
hip hop. I have two older brothers. So it's always been there. I think as I got older, I got more into like, the gritty sounding stuff and like, the soul sampling and all the other stuff.
That's beautiful, dog.
Okay, so let's close this out. I really appreciate you asking that question,
I had a
Shalon.
question.
Yeah, 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 I
I
would love
needed to know what your favorite song was.
ever like in life.
For RIEMA.
Oh, on RIEMA.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard one. That's a hard one. You know what I really liked for whatever reason, the song Wiz, uh,
Mm-hmm.
felt like personal to me. Like it felt like you were talking about like the importance of family and like what family meant to you and like handling personal challenges and like if I would had to ask a question about that song, it would have been about like, do you use music as like, to channel your emotions and stuff like that. But I think Wiz and then following up with like Kelly afterwards, I think, but probably Wiz is probably my favorite song on there. It
There's
used
a
to be
song
RIEMA.
called-
It used to be RIEMA though, right? Like it used that single when it first came out, like I was blowing it up. Like I had it all on my story like every other day. Like RIEMA used to be my favorite song
Oh, yeah.
on the album.
Probably
But
got most of the streams on that motherfucker.
yeah, but I think as time progressed, I think Wiz might be it for me.
I kind of felt like you would say that. When I
Yeah,
made that song, when I made that song, I was like, I feel like Alex would probably do it.
yeah.
I don't remember if
So
I
many.
might.
It's so hard. That whole album, like there's so many songs that I really enjoy, and the melodic. I love when Wiz does his melodic joints. So. Um, let's close this out. I really appreciate you guys for taking the time to sit down and chop it up with me. We just spent like an hour, almost an hour and a half,
Likewise,
talking.
so
You put so much incredible work into the album, and I really believe that RIEMA should be celebrated. And so I was so happy to sit down and talk to you guys, and I'm honored for you all to, sit down and spend time and answer all my questions that I had about the album. And if I was talking to my Suga and Friendz audience, I would urge everyone to buy/stream RIEMA, right? So go follow Chillon Daviz, go follow Wiz Kelly on socials, like their stuff, share their posts, because that's how you get the word out. That's how get folks sort of on to the next, on to the next
no,
artist that they love.
no dick pulling.
Oh my goodness, Wiz.
We're not doing it, man. Stop it.
Listen, man,
Right.
we're gonna
Cut
cut
it
that
out.
piece out, and we're gonna try to use that to promote
Right.
this
Yeah, no,
episode.
I'm definitely gonna take there's some real funny moments in this. And I'm definitely gonna put it on like a clip, a little reel whenever I post this. There's some funny moments that we're gonna get. Usually I only post like one clip. I'm gonna get a few clips out here. Y'all just make sure that I'm gonna put some collaborative posts up so that we can do
You
some
already know me.
promotion.
No,
Get
go
all
see that bitch. I'm hitting accept.
Right, get all that promotion. And as always, to my own followers, to my own audience, don't gatekeep good music. You can gatekeep trash music, just don't gatekeep good music. Share it with your
You
friends.
can with certain niggas though, but like there's certain niggas that'll ruin your whole experience. You be like, damn, this nigga probably listening to this shit right now. You can with certain niggas, but
Okay.
don't gatekeep, no dick pulling.
Okay. Right. So share good music with all of your friends is my tagline. Don't gatekeep good music. Share it with all your friends. This is Suga and Friendz podcast. I will see you all next time. Thank you so much.
You scared of the dark, it's kind of farce. It make more sense to be afraid of the sharks. At times I'm feeling like a bard who plays for coin like Johnny Goins. I put my soul to the point pin. No pinpoint like Kelly, have a choice to talk to the spirits for 10.